This is Empty the Bench with Tom Albano.
Going on any sort of website where somebody can promote that John F. Kennedy and John F. Kennedy Jr. are going to resurrect on the grassy knoll near which John F. Kennedy was assassinated is not research.
Nick Morgeson.
Aaron Rodgers and the NFL are like a bunch of 5-year-olds in recess. They're fighting over a toy. Why'd you punch him? I didn't punch him. He punched me.
And Nick Federa.
Recent experience with quarterbacks and mask mandates and vaccine mandates have demonstrated that quarterbacks are not exactly the brightest bulbs in the box.
Empty the Bench starts now.
You to go to the anvil and piano factory. Go ahead. You can French kiss that cobra. That's fine.
Explain yourself. I wasn't here last week, so please explain the purpose of that.
I don't know anymore.
You're welcome, Nick. You knew I was going to do that.
I figured that was going to show up somewhere.
Gentlemen, you didn't know that what I said, that doesn't count as research. You can't just go to a place where it says, oh, this dead person is going to reappear on the grassy knoll like these Jesus Christ, the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Hey, that line was so good it got used twice.
I mean, it was.
But good.
I'm Tom Albano along with Nick Federa, Nick Morgeson. I am back. I am back from my adventures of yelling into the great wide open of nothing.
How are the horses?
The horses there were pretty dull. They didn't seem to react to my yelling whatsoever.
No. By the way, before we get into the show, I don't know what you guys have been doing over the whole week. I watched that Richard Williams movie about the Williams sisters. Did you guys get to see that at all?
Yeah.
No, I've heard of it. I
know of it. Yeah.
It was actually a really good movie. The problem is they only talked about Venus and not Serena very much. But
that's disappointing.
It was a good movie, though. It actually, if you look at some of the real life as opposed to what they did in the movie, it actually was almost right to a T what they did.
Good. Too much Hollywood with some of the adaptations and remakes of events or books or whatnot. We got a lot to talk about.
Speaking of Hollywood.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We got to talk about some big MLB offseason moves. Speaking of Hollywood, we got to talk about a certain arena in Hollywood, which has me cringing. We have to talk about Zac Stacy and just this abhorrent video, but we would be remiss if we did not start with this big story that has taken over the sports headlines, which I actually did my ETB Sports Minute on this morning, about Peng Shuai, the 3-time Olympian and Chinese tennis great who has made a severe accusation of sexual assault by a former Chinese government official. And since then, we've had a retraction, which is highly suspected to have been forged. That retraction, was it removed off social media?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, that's gone. And now she's just gone. She's been gone all November. We have no idea where she is.
Now, I think I started to talk about this in the promo for this episode, that she posted to the social media platform Weibo, which is the China version of like our Twitter and our Facebook and Instagram or social media. And like you said, Tom, there was a retraction post put up, but a lot of people, and I think I saw it, so I got to read it. It's not her. It's definitely not her. It's definitely some kind of forged apology type thing for putting up the post. Now, you have to remember what we're talking about here. We're talking about China. We're talking about a communist country that puts a lot of rules on not going against government officials, whether they're former or current. And you can't say anything about anybody in political spectrum, or you're going to get crucified.
Or, I mean, things aren't exactly great over on this side of the pond, but I mean, at least if I.
But at least we have
Joe Biden, I'm not going to be thrown in a prison cell.
I was going to say, but at least in the kind of rule, not just of a certain president, but the kind of rule that we have in the United States, a democratic republic. You know, we have certain freedoms over there. You know, over there, if we try to do some of the stuff that we do here over there, it's not going to exactly end up well. Remember a few years ago, guys, when was it LeAngelo Ball? He stole from the shop, and we were like, "Why would you steal from a shop over there?"
He almost got imprisoned in China.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did. He did actually. That was early. That was the early days when Trump was still in office, right?
Yeah, the Trump supposedly had to work. What was it?
Work the phones and get him. Yeah, work the phones and get him
Hey,
released.
Nick,
I remember people. I think we even had debated it. Should he have just stayed over there in the Chinese prison?
well, yeah, and I'm going to say something that Nick usually says: "Stupid is as stupid does."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but in this case, I mean,
Yes, in this case, as much.
it
No,
really does seem like
Not this one. I meant that one. This
You're
whole
talking about LeAngelo Ball, yeah.
I'm talking
Well,
about
I mean, that's the Ball family. That's just the Ball family motto. Stupid
I
is
mean,
as stupid does.
yeah, that's practically their family crest.
But-
but still, in this case, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but didn't they post? Weren't there also social media pictures that made their way to social media of her saying that everything was fine?
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I was talking about. They supposedly it came from her social media accounts, but then it came out that it sounded and didn't look like anything that she would write. Now, Serena Williams has come out. Novak Djokovic has come out. All these athletes from the tennis world have come out, including the WTA, the Women Tennis Association, came out and made a big statement saying they want an explanation for what's going on. I think, Tom, you said in the minute the UK and the US were looking into investigating
the White House and the United Nations. Funny on the World Tennis Association. So they have stated, they've even gotten to the point, you mentioned a big statement, that they will cancel events that are scheduled to be held in China. Some of the, I guess it wouldn't be the major events, it would be the minor events that are held.
There is a big tour out there. Like there's a lot of events.
There is a big tour? Okay, I don't know too much about the tennis.
I don't know if it's the tour, but they make a lot of money off traveling around the world.
I'm not surprised.
Not to mention the Olympics are going to be there.
Right. That's what I said in a minute. The fact that the WTA is willing to say, we care about our players so much, we will lose the money. We will lose millions of dollars because we want an explanation.
The end of your statement was hilarious also.
About the IOC. Listen, I was going to say, and you're right, Nick, that the IOC, something should be done, but we know the IOC and how corrupt things are. You would think over the last, with how the Olympic situation was in Japan and how poorly that went, and now it's going to be over in China with not that far over. Plus now you have this controversy. These should be grounds for, hey, wait a minute, we should slow down here and maybe have a conversation. But the IOC, it's not going to happen.
We're talking about corrupt organizations. We're talking about the IOC, and I even think there are times when professional sports leagues are corrupt. We talked about this last week, Nick and I, when the whole John Gruden situation happened. And Nick was asking me, do I think that the stories that were put into the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times, and Nick was saying that it wasn't. And I said, no, stop. Come on. They planned to put those stories out regardless whether he did it or not. That was strategically planned.
What I had said was that do you think they put it there on purpose?
Yes.
To fuck with him, specifically.
Well, regardless that situation, I think the NFL should release those documents with the Washington football team. That investigation should be released.
And why?
But if you're holding your breath, waiting for an IOC investigation into this,
not gonna.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Then cancel the Olympics.
They've got too many people they need to please, and the bottom line is
cancel the Olympics
again, Nick. But no, that's my point, Nick Morris, is that you would think this would be a hold on here or a cancel the Olympics, but it's not going to happen because this is the IOC we're talking about.
It's all about the Benjamins. That's all they care about here.
Are you new here about the IOC?
No, I'm just saying that if you're not going to do the due diligence to protect an athlete, because last time I checked, the IOC is supposed to be protecting the athletes that go to compete in the Olympics, then cancel it. That's it. I don't want to see it. That's the IOC calling right now saying, stop talking about us.
Well, okay, maybe the IOC, but I mean, if you're talking about Chinese officials, I mean, YouTube and all these things are probably blocked over there, aren't they?
Of course they are. YouTube's been blocked forever. Anything that's freedom of speech over there is blocked.
They have their own. They have their own versions of YouTube and Facebook, and again, because it's
they held a press conference.
Very strict censorship over there. But again,
they held a press conference trying to get investigation and answers on Peng Shuai. They scrubbed it out of the press conference. They scrubbed her name out of the press conference. What does that tell you?
That government is a joke. That government is a joke.
They're going to let one of their own suffer?
Allegedly a joke. So
wait a minute.
You gotta be careful.
Wait, they're going to let one of their own suffer just because they have their own methods of doing things?
Wait, but Nick, they can't see us.
Yeah. Hi.
Wow, that was I wasn't even going to make that joke, but okay.
Who do you think was calling me on the phone? They're trying to get us to stop.
Please stop! You're making us look bad.
But seriously, what the hell? But seriously, I said it's the question that should be on everybody's mind. Where the hell is this? Where the hell is Peng Shuai? Where is she?
I mean, do I have to call for it?
FBI, open up!
Please, no, but it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how much that, this athlete is in such danger. Even if she's not in danger, just so worried about her whereabouts.
And you don't just randomly disappear. Like when you're an athlete, you're a professional athlete, you don't just disappear. Unless you did something incredibly stupid and you were kidnapped or something, you don't just disappear. That's my problem here. And I think we should have an FBI investigation. We need to find out where she is. And when Serena and Novak, the two of the biggest stars on the tennis tour, are
saying there's a problem, then there's a problem.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, if you think the State Department's going to be able to come in and fix this, if any governmental administration is going to be able to fix this, maybe I'm just cynical, but I don't think that. Again,
no, I understand. I understand your cynicism because it's China. It's the Chinese government.
Now, what's our worst case scenario? I mean, I know
it's not like we're shining examples of how government should be run, but still.
What do we know about running government anyway? But
yeah, if you let me run a government, you failed. That's like
on our other show, Beyond the Bench, where Nick almost gave financial advice to people. Don't do that.
And then I realized who actually was saying the words that was coming out of my mouth, and then I realized, you know what? I don't think I should.
Well,
it's like really, it's like a.
We'll get to financial crypto advice later, but
so wait, I was designing all stuff for a Nick Federa presidential run in 2024. Do I have to scrap all that now?
Wait a minute.
You know what? I'm going to. I did get a peek at the slogan, and "Don't be a dick, vote for Nick" is really a good. I like it. It's a good slogan.
Nick, you just caught yourself there.
I mean, I'd like to put it on a bumper sticker, but
wait,
you know what? It's
Nick. You know what you just did to yourself, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for next week's intro.
Wait a minute, and I have your campaign music as well.
Federa 2024.
Can't someone else do it?
All right, more serious news.
All right, Zac Stacy. This video.
Of course, and of course he was a Jet.
It's so bad. This video is so bad that we're not even going to show it on this.
I mean, viewer discretion advised wouldn't have even
done
it justice. I watched this video quite. If you want to go see the video, it's up on our Twitter account at ETB Sports.
I'm sure all you can do is just do a Google search for the video, but
he literally throwing his ex-girlfriend against a large, big screen TV, and the TV falls on top of her. And to make it worse, is in front of the child, young child.
In front of the
Absolutely
child,
horrific.
In front of the child, and since they're in the house again, the video camera, the security video is right there.
Well,
are you kidding me? How stupid can you be?
By the way,
that's
before we go on that point, because I'll let you finish that point, she actually had these set up, apparently. I was reading in some other news articles and stories that apparently this is not the first time this has happened to her before.
Well, yeah, because that's usually how it goes with domestic abusers. It usually doesn't happen once.
No, I mean other relationships.
Oh, other relationships with her or with him?
No, with her. Apparently, that's why she had them set up, because it's happened to her before. Apparently, allegedly.
That's horrible.
That's one, that's horrifying. Two, I mean, again, with Zac Stacy, how stupid can you be? Because even if with the past relationships and all, you should know in that house are cameras, right?
Mm-hmm.
You should know. If that's his girlfriend's house, you can assume he's been there before. You would assume he knows what the house looks like and all. You get what I mean?
I mean, technically it would be a privacy issue if he didn't know either, right? With the cameras.
But that brings my point then. How stupid can you be?
I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that he should know the cameras are there, because you can't just film somebody randomly without.
Right.
Then again, if you're committing a crime, I really don't think prosecutors are saying that camera shouldn't have been there.
Well, you can't use evidence.
I should have been able to commit crimes in peace.
Well, Tom, you would know this more than I would, since you worked on video footage. Is that if you catch someone doing a crime and you don't know the cameras are there, is that viable evidence?
I mean, if it's a security camera of sorts, I would assume a security camera is liable evidence.
Okay. I don't know how that works if they don't know if the camera's there. But
we're not politicians and we're also not lawyers. But
there's a child in there, though. Come on.
Again, this is messed up beyond all recognition. I mean, we should not have to repeat the fact that you should never, ever, ever put your hands on a woman in anger.
Wait a minute. Time out. How about don't put your hands on anyone? Can we just say that? Can we not hit, touch, kick?
I mean, unless you're a UFC fighter fighting in the octagon, unless you're Crawford and Porter, who are going to compete tonight in a big boxing welterweight title fight, you shouldn't be punching one another in the face.
Not exactly. And it's just that is misogyny with the volume cranked up.
You would think, no, but that's my thing. You would think that this would be common sense, but again, we said for the Ball family, stupid is as stupid does.
I mean, can we just say that current or former NFL players are some of the dumbest people we know?
Look at Aaron Rodgers. Did I not say that in the intro?
Oof.
RELAX.
I'm surprised you were able to spell that correctly. REXALQ.
So if the Packers make it to the playoffs again and they lose in the conference championship again, do I have the right to, after that voice clip is played, ask Aaron Rodgers how loser is spelled and respond YOU?
I was just going to say that. Damn it. Ugh.
Wait, that's not how you spell it. That Y is supposed to be capitalized.
Wait a minute. Hey, Aaron, how do you spell loser? BLOWHARD.
Whoa.
You're welcome.
All right. Now let's get to the fun stuff.
Yes.
What the hell is this?
So this is pretty
Yeah.
loose definition of the word fun stuff, but it's fun to make it look. All deference to the crypto expert on this show.
Yeah.
I told you on Beyond the Bench this week. I don't get cryptocurrency.
That was the funniest conversation we ever had on that show, too.
Well, again, context is necessary. We said before, come Christmas Day, crypto.com, a website I've never even heard of, has paid 700 something million.
700 million over 20 years.
Over 20 years for the Staples Center to be called the crypto.com arena.
Just doing the quick math, it's 35 million a year.
So crypto.com, I've heard of. They're actually UFC sponsored. They sponsor some of the wear. So the shorts, the
Also,
tops for the
the
women's
Cage
fighters.
also, don't
The
they?
Cage, I think, also has a crypto.com arena
Nick,
banner.
Nick, I hate to break this to you. I know you think of it as digital monopoly money, but there actually is way more money now in the digital money circuit than there is in paper money.
But I do agree
Yes,
with Nick
but,
in that I also
but
don't get
more
it.
value for something that is intrinsically nothing is also nothing. It's like nothing plus nothing equals nothing.
That reminds me of that dumb
You're trying
line.
to argue against the metaphorical concept of nothing.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry, I have to get all mathematician on you, but it just seems like you're creating intrinsic value for something that has no value.
That brings me back to my favorite line, which we discussed in Beyond the Bench.
You're putting a coffee you're making merchandise of a cryptocurrency company. So doesn't that mean the shirt shouldn't exist?
No, but that reminds me of the Fairly Odd Parents. Hey, Hockey, 2 + 2 is it 5? It's 6. 6.
Maybe I'm just being too cynical, but this is just dumb.
So here's my thing. I get the argument about cryptocurrency as much as I don't get it. I also get the cryptocurrency isn't a thing. I get that naming rights are a big thing for arenas, even though, like occasionally, every now and again, I'll slip and call Citi Field Shea, or I'll call the Rogers Center Sky Dome.
Well, or my favorite, I used to call it O.co. Now it's Skyview Stadium in Oakland, I think. Or
we actually had to look it up to figure out what it was because we didn't know.
The one I screw up to this day still is Petco because it's not Petco anymore.
Yeah, because it's technically not Petco anymore.
But that's my whole thing.
Leave the naming rights alone. Just stop.
That's my whole thing. The fact that this is the Staples Center, which only has been around since what, the early 90s?
Something like that.
Or the 90s? But
yeah.
No, before then.
Oh, but regardless, whether it's the 80s or 90s, the fact that, it hosts the Lakers and their history with Kobe Bryant, that arena is basically, as Vanessa Bryant says,
that was my point. That was my
forever the arena that Kobe built. Well,
when Staples Center went, there it goes. It's flying out into the sky. I see it right now. Staples Center's gone. Well, Kobe's gone too. It's over. It's not there anymore. Crypto.com, or first of all, a naming right that doesn't fly off the tongue. Hey, all right, we're heading to Crypto.com Arena. Who says that? Why don't you just call it Bitcoin Arena or Ethereum Arena?
But continuing on my point, because I'm not done. The fact that it hosts the Lakers and its history, the fact that it's the only NBA arena that hosts the two teams, the Lakers and the Clippers, and the Clippers have had success in recent times. The Kings, the Los Angeles Kings, 2-time Stanley Cup champions, 2012 becoming, I think it's the first NHL team to go from an 8th seed to win the Stanley Cup. With all that history, that arena is always going to be the Staples Center to me, not the Crypto.com arena.
And also, don't forget all the concerts and entertainment events that go on at Staples Center as well. That's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called? I know. With Madison Square Garden in the video games, it's very rarely called Madison Square Garden. It's usually just called the New York Arena or the Knicks Arena.
MSG.
Right, but that's the thing. MSG has always been Madison Square Garden. So heaven forbid a whole new naming rights thing came in and it's like the something brand here arena at Madison Square. And it's like, no, it's always going to be MSG to me. Unless it's
honest like, company presents at Madison Square Garden.
I mean, unless it's that side arena, that small arena where it's the Hulu Theater, then okay, the Hulu Theater at Madison Square Garden, because it's not the main arena.
Again, that's mostly entertainment events. But what I would say is, for the most part, except for the Mets completely being fucking sellouts over calling the stadium Citi Field, you're never going to, and Nick and I had this discussion also, and I think we both agreed, you can never change the name of Yankee Stadium. Never.
If that happens, my heart will break in 1,000 pieces.
I made another point, which I think Nick agreed with, was the Yankees are far and above the richest team in all of baseball. Wait. Can you imagine if the Yankees, if they said today, we're going to take on a naming rights? Do you realize how much money they could get if they did that? Not saying they should, but they could.
But that's going to be my point. The Yankee brand is a brand in itself. Stadium. Right?
Yeah, the Yankees are a brand in and of themselves.
Like that, the let's pick a team. The Colorado Rockies, smaller market, smaller team. Maybe they don't have the same. When you say the New York Yankees, I mean, if you a European or somebody in Australia, they would recognize that the New York Yankees, the Yankees.
Can I make one argument though? Because you picked an interesting choice there. Coors Field actually makes sense for Colorado, though.
Oh it
Yes,
does.
it
But
does.
I'm saying the team name value. The Yankees, you could compare, like over in Europe with those soccer teams like Milan or Man City. Go to an Australian rugby team. The Yankees have just as much, if not more, value than some of those teams all around the world. You recognize the Yankee brand.
I mean,
so if there was a naming rights deal for Yankee Stadium, my heart, I said again, will crush into a million pieces.
It's like Nick said
Because
also.
but again, corporate sponsorships are not can also.
Oh, it would
remember
make
Enron
sense.
Field, kids.
Right.
Oh,
It would make. But now my point is, it would make sense from a financial perspective, but from an image perspective, I think that would hurt the Yankees.
Well, it's like what Nick said. Dodger Stadium also. You're never changing that. I'm trying to think of some of the other stadiums around any of the stadiums in professional sports. Barclays Center. I mean, that originally was, and that was in New Jersey, and this shows how old I am as a Net fan, that it used to be Continental Airlines Arena.
Oh, you're talking about the Izod Center.
Well, no, but originally
when
before
it was in Jersey,
when it was in,
they built for the Net. The Net.
I know, I get your point. That it was originally for the Nets, who played in Jersey.
So, it depends. It's all about money now. Like, they're not doing it because they like the name. They're doing it because they want money for the stadium. Mm-hmm. So, like, I went to Barclays Center the first year when it opened. It's a nice place, and I think people will remember the Barclays Center at least. If you go and change it again in another 2 years, people are going to say it's the Barclays Center.
So, can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
When is the Benchcoin arena going to be launched? What arena are we going to try to get Benchcoin on?
No, we need the ETB Network arena.
Well, the ETB network already exists in our hearts.
Well, but we need to take over an arena then. So where should we go? Should we find an arena? Say, the United States is going to be too expensive. Let's go worldwide. I mean, unless we find an arena in Alaska, maybe.
No, you know what? Oh, we can do like the Fairly Odd Parents. We can go to the Alaskan Basketball League.
an unused hockey team rink in the middle of Skokie, Illinois. That's gonna be the ETB Network arena.
So, will we get blubber nuggets as part of the deal?
Exactly. I was just gonna say that. They're chewy. I mean,
look at all the failure.
All right. Before we go on to the rapid rundown, let's do some baseball news.
So ladies and gentlemen, I did this as part of my ETB minute, and I can honestly say to you, there's a lot of money flying around, and this early.
You know what this is. You know what this is, right, guys?
Panic buying.
This is panic buying before the lockout happens.
Well,
yes, this is Black Friday, but with the MLB.
Oh, wait a minute.
People scrambling all over each other and kicking them when they're down, wearing army boots.
But wait a minute. Noah Syndergaard signed a 1-year deal. So does that mean his deal expires if they don't play for the whole year?
Yes.
Yes.
Unless they say contracts are allowed to be moved over to the next year. Yes.
And they are quite confident that they're not going. They seem to be, like I said in my minute, it's hanging over them, the league, like a lame sword of Damocles. They're looking and waiting for it to drop and cut their heads off. But
yeah, so from what my understanding of what league officials are saying, granted I'm not, Buster Olney or Tim Kirchin, from my understanding is that they are confident that should their lockout happen, and we've said it's inevitable, it's going to happen, that it would only affect the off season. So December, January, to the point where by February, before spring training time, it will be settled, because they don't want what happened in 2020 to happen. Now, because of 2020, I'm a little skeptical about this, but
I mean, that's my reaction to that whole thing. What are you talking about? That we've learned from COVID and from other things that things don't happen on a schedule. We've learned this by now. Are we really going to believe that the Major League Baseball and the MLBPA, especially with Tony Clark and Rob Manfred leading the negotiations on each side, we all know how well that's been doing so far, right, guys?
Which, again, I mean, this shouldn't be news to you that they learn their lessons very slowly.
Yeah,
They're expecting the lockout to happen. But let's break down, if we will, the deals that we know of already.
we're missing a deal on this slide too. The Jose Barrios 7 years, $127 million deal.
Nick, I'm only allowed a certain amount of characters.
No. I'm not blaming you. No. I'm not blaming you. That came in after you put this in. I'm just saying that there's so many. That deal was crazy, though. That the Blue Jays are spending money.
Well, the Blue Jays really seemed confident that they were able to get that they got what they wanted out of Jose Barrios. What surprised me though was Noah Syndergaard leaving. I thought he was definitely going to come back.
Well, he rejected, and I couldn't believe it when I first saw that he rejected the $18.4 million qualifying offer from the Mets, which, by the way, is so Mets that he rejected the qualifying offer. But the Angels, who literally have nothing, would you say, besides Shohei
and Mike, and again, two generational players, and no one gives a shit.
Well,
Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout. That's depressing.
Well, Shohei was the MVP, though, right?
Oh, unanimously and deservedly so. But it's said guys like Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout should be playing playoff games, not having their seasons ended with like 90 losses.
Because they could hit 2 home runs each and lose 15-14.
He should have gone to the Yankees when he could.
But then again, that's just sour grapes talking out of us.
No, that was a joke. I'm being sarcastic because I knew he was never going there.
I mean, still, you have Syndergaard betting on himself essentially with the.
What do you mean betting on himself? The Angels offered him the money.
Yeah,
but he's betting on himself by saying, "I'm going to be able to do this year and then go to free agency."
I'm getting what Nick is saying. That basically with Syndergaard, if he does well this year, next year more money could come. Now, I do agree with you, Nick. Nick Morganson, $21 million for 1 year for Noah Syndergaard, who's a big question mark after 2 years on the shelf.
2 innings in 2 years. Do I have to say it again? 2 innings in 2 years?
If I may quote the Eagles, desperado.
Nick, you're going to make it a challenge for me for next week's show.
Desperate. And you know what it is? And which again, the Angels, that is the problem with the Angels, right? That they can't pitch.
Well, they don't have any pitch, or it keeps going on the shelf with Tommy John surgery. One of the two.
But I mean, people overpaying for pitching all over. I mean, think about. Well, it's not official yet, but Verlander re-signed with the Astros, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's official. It's 2 years, $50 million.
2 years, $50 million.
I think the second year is an option, though.
Regardless, though, like the Yankees were supposedly in the mix, and originally, according to him and according to you, Nick Federa, he could have only gotten, a 10, kind of like what happened with Corey Kluber, about $10 million for 1 year. The fact that second year, whether it's optional or not, all of a sudden, and $50 million, all of a sudden, it's like, you know what? Screw it. Let him have him.
You're going to see, and I didn't think this at the time, but you're going to see more. How shall I put this?
You're
going to see more short-term deals for more money.
The man is 37 years old. Can we?
But now I also think the Astros can take that kind of chance. I mean, after all, they are the defending American League champions again now.
Right, but at the same time, I think the Yankees actually didn't do the dumb Yankee thing for a change.
Oh, you're right.
Trying to sign somebody that's way past their prime for 2 years.
Oh, you're right. Now, guys, we're missing a big deal here. Eduardo Rodriguez leaving the Red Sox. 5 years, $77 million with the Tigers.
The Tigers, watch out for the Tigers. The Tigers are going to be spending up the wazoo this offseason.
Right. So we've debated the tank in sports. The Tigers, regardless if you consider it purposely tanking or not, the Tigers for the last several years have not been good. But what has that landed them? First of all, that's landed them Casey Mize, who I've been high on ever since he was drafted. Was it 16 or 17, maybe even 18? He was drafted
like
number 1
3-4
overall.
years ago. Yeah.
But my point is, they, as much as they have been sucking, they now have Mize, who's going to be a solid option, probably their number 1. Eduardo Rodriguez as a 2. They're gonna have younger players, and now they have all this money that they're going to be willing to throw around.
So I recall being skeptical of the fact that Carlos Correa would sign with the Tigers. And I think the way I put it was, they're in the market for Carlos Correa, and I'm in the market for a Porsche.
No,
So if it turns out that is the case, that he does sign with the Tigers for any amount of money,
I think you got to watch out.
I'm going to have to eat crow for that.
No, I'm telling you right now, and anyone who doesn't think this is obviously not in tune with how players think about money. If the Tigers are the biggest deal, that's where you're going to see him next. That's how baseball works.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. You really think in the NBA it's different, because in the NBA you're trying to find players to play with to win a few titles. All the Warriors, the Heat back in the day, the Celtics. You'll take a little less money because in the long run you'll earn more money if you win championships. In baseball, it's not the same thing. You might win, but if you play in a bigger market, then you're looking for the money. So, I mean, Detroit's not really a big market, so that's where it's kind of scratching my head a little bit. But
shouldn't they be a big market team? Because Detroit is a major metropolitan city.
They're not. They're probably
they're a B plus kind of territory. They're
I
not New York.
I wouldn't even say that. Yeah,
they're not Los Angeles or Chicago,
Philadelphia
or Boston.
Yeah, you're probably at least 10 to 12, at least in baseball, at least. In the NBA, it's probably even lower. In the NFL, forget it; it's 0.
Watch, now we're gonna piss off all the Detroiters.
Hey, let's give credit to the Lions. They tied this week. They're not going to be 0-17. All right. Speaking of money being thrown around in baseball, we have a new general manager of the Mets, Billy Eppler.
Wait. Yes.
So the reason why that is because no one else wanted the job.
Now, I asked Tom, and Tom didn't know the answer. Nick, he was in the Yankee organization, wasn't he?
He was the assistant GM to Brian Cashman for a couple of years.
Okay, that's what I thought. Now,
before he went to the Angels, he was being hyped up as the next big thing in GM, the best thing since sliced bread. And as it turns out, when he went to the Angels, it didn't work out very well.
Well, it was him, and then it was Kim Ning, who's now with the Marlins. The two of them were in the Yankee organization.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how I feel about this deal. By the way, stay away from Steve Cohen at all costs at this point, because anytime you seem to go near Steve Cohen, you end up as a drunken idiot with a DUI.
Are the Mets cursed?
Yes.
Was that stadium built on an ancient Indian burial ground or something?
Wait. Was it like the new Yankee Stadium where they unburied a David Ortiz Red Sox jersey out of the ground?
How could this be? How did they must have pissed a gypsy off, because how could this happen over 2 consecutive owners? That incompetence just seems to cling to them like the smell of shit on Velcro.
Because it's the Mets, Nick.
Come on and beat the Mets. Beat the Mets. Step right up and beat the Mets.
And honestly, these circumstances make me... I know we're talking about questionable Yankee decisions. This makes me scratch my head even more at why they decided to hire Luis Rojas as a third base coach.
But again, he's the third base coach, not the coach.
Not the manager.
First of all, I will maintain that the problems with the Mets were not all his fault.
No, I do. I think they're his fault.
I think he has a degree of fault.
He has a
But-
degree of fault, but not. He was the he
But
he was sacrificed.
It's the Mets. It's the Mets. What did we say after everything started to collapse around them after their time in first place? That with Steve Cohen, it's same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was.
That's true.
Same as
Well,
it ever was.
under Steve Cohen, I think you're just going to see a gross repetition of the same process happening over and over
Well,
again.
the only difference is Cohen is willing to spend money.
Yeah,
Unlike
but
the last ownership group.
You could spend until the cows come home. We've seen this with the Yankees. It doesn't mean that they're going to win.
I know, no, but that's my point. The only difference is one is willing to spend money, but the results are still the same.
Well, and by the way, the Mets still have pitching issues of their own. Marcus Stroman's a free agent. He still has not signed. And you lost Noah Syndergaard, which probably is not a big deal in the long run because I don't think he really wanted to be there anyway. And Jacob deGrom is hurt every year. So, and it's crazy to me. Do you remember when the Mets were promoting the Noah, the Jacob, and Matt Harvey trio? Do you remember that?
Yep.
Yeah,
When that was
it wasn't that long ago. I remember.
But do you remember when people said, "Oh my God, the Mets are going to be the biggest threat for the next 5 to 10 years"? Well, look where they are
What
now.
did it last? 2? 3?
Maybe one. Because they were never healthy at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
That's why pitching comes at a premium.
I just don't. I don't get it.
Speaking of,
Get it.
Speaking of, let's talk about some awards. So all the MLB awards have been handed out. We mentioned Shohei Ohtani unanimously winning the AL MVP. Bryce Harper wins his MVP award narrowly. I think that was a very close race between him, Tatis Jr., and who was the third one?
Oh, well, the top 2 are the most important. But
Bryce Harper. Oh, Juan Soto beating out. Yeah, Bryce Harper beat out Juan Soto and Fernando Tatis Jr.
they didn't even make the playoffs, did they?
No, it's the.
It doesn't matter if they made the playoffs or not.
No, guys, we have MLB history. The first time the leading 3 candidates in each league were from teams who didn't make the playoffs. Because the Angels missed. The Blue Jays missed. Washington missed. The Padres missed. They bombed infamously.
Let's see who else missed. The Reds missed. Let's see.
All right, enough.
No. We missed.
Well,
3 times.
So those are your MVPs. The Cy Youngs, Robbie Ray, who becomes the first Blue Jay since Roy Halladay in 2003.
you know
to
what?
win.
That one I think is legitimate. I really do.
I don't. Here's
I
my
mean, it
thing.
is legitimate.
I was gonna say,
we're objectively better than Cole's.
yeah, won that.
and
I
Cole
mean-
was hurt towards the end.
Right. Well, here's my problem. So Robbie Ray, Garrett Cole, and Robbie Ray, Garrett Cole, and okay, whatever. I screwed up. I'm looking
Well,
for the
Was it the guy from the White Sox, I think?
Oh, Lance Lynn.
Lance Lynn, yes, thank you. But my point is, none of them really put up the typical Cy Young caliber numbers. However, Robbie Ray in my opinion at least, was the best pitcher in baseball in the American
Absolutely,
League. So,
by far.
Statistically speaking, the numbers don't lie. The numbers are right there, staring in the face.
now, speaking of, we're talking about the NL Cy Young. I think somebody gave him competition for best pitcher in baseball. That's the young hotshot Corbin Burns, who I am very high on.
He was unreal, including in the playoffs. He pitched okay, not great.
I pray, and not just because he was on one of my fantasy teams, but I pray this is not a one and done thing. I pray this is going to be the start of a long, successful career for Mr. Burns.
And hopefully the Brewers don't screw him up.
Yeah. Rookie of the Year. We have Randy Arozarena winning 2021 Rookie of the Year. He was kind of like what Judge was for us in that technically.
He came up in half the year, and then
He shouldn't be Rookie of the Year. He played last year.
Again, technically because of service time. I know it's all ticky tack stuff, but again, technically speaking, under the rules that the MLB has set, I know I'm being pedantic about this. Hello, Captain Pedantic, but I just look. This is what the rules are, and this is what they say.
Wait,
Shallow and pedantic.
wait. Well, I was gonna say. So is this like the whole service time bullshit where
Yes.
they keep you up for a certain amount of time
yes.
and then
Yes.
I'm tired of this. Change the damn rule.
And the Reds, first time since 1999, they have the Rookie of the Year in the National League, Jonathan India, who, as a non-roster invitee, led all of MLB rookies in on-base percentage and doubles, runs scored, games played. He was second in OPS. I say that qualifies him for a Rookie of the Year status.
Yeah,
I do too, and I hope he can repeat it. I hope I see more of him because he really, if he can live up to everything he looks like he can live up to, he could be the face of the Reds.
Well, with Joey Votto, who's been there for how long
but you
now?
gotta
I've-
imagine
Yeah, but Joey
Votto only
Votto's not
has-
going to be there for months.
I think he only has 1 or 2 years left, Votto, to be honest with you.
Votto just seems like the guy that just never goes away. He just
Kind of like what Brett Gardner has been for the Yankees for,
he's gone now.
we think.
He'll surface like with the Tampa Bay Rays, like Johnny Damon did.
Oh Christ! Now you stop jinxing it.
Don't
Yeah.
depress me. I wish he could be a Yankee. I wish he would have just retired so he can be a Yankee forever.
Brett Gardner's another one where he's just like, you know what? I'm never going to retire, and I'll just like keep playing and make $1 million or $2 million a year. Okay, good with it.
And manager of the years, Kevin Cash, Gabe Kapler. Kind of not surprising with the 100 wins, but both teams kind of, disappointing when they were bounced in the divisional round of the playoffs.
I
That
would have given that to Snitker, to be
No.
honest with you.
yeah, but he wasn't the member. That's on season, not on playoffs.
Not on
manager.
playoffs.
If you think about it, Gabe Kapler was manager of the year. He took
Yeah.
a team that was projected to win 60 games.
To
And won
107.
100 and something. Yeah.
And by
You're
the
right.
way,
no, you're right. You're right.
they
you're
need
right.
to change that rule, by the way, in the playoffs, where both teams played in the wild card, or one played in the wild card, and they weren't even going to meet in the next round. It's unfair.
Welcome to Major League Baseball, where everything is confusing and nothing is ever explained.
By the way, that's good for baseball when two teams in your big second largest market are winning 100+ games, and you're not doing anything to capitalize on it. Ugh.
Moving on to some sad news. Former World Series champion Julio Lugo, who won World Series titles with the Red Sox, suddenly passes away, I believe, by means of a heart attack.
Yeah, 45 years old, I think.
And
that is just absolutely tragic. I mean that he wasn't even 50 yet.
no, he was a fairly reliable arm, if I remember those times.
He was I think he came up with the Rays, right?
I believe so. I know the World Series title he won with the Red Sox.
Right, but
He was-
he came up with Crawford and all those guys.
The Rays when they were the Devil Rays, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, Astros, Orioles, Cardinals, and Braves.
Wow, I didn't realize he jumped around a lot after.
And I believe Seth Lugo's his brother, right?
I think so. I think so, yeah. But I don't know. We're seeing a lot of. It's what this pandemic is unfortunately doing to people.
Oh, Rudy
Yeah.
Rudy Logo, not Seth Logo.
Oh, okay. But unfortunately,
Still, I mean, condolences to his family. That's pretty much all we could say.
yeah.
All right, let's get into the rapid rundown now, gentlemen.
Oof.
So here we go. Let's predict some football. We got a lot of football to go through.
By the way,
So-
I have to say one thing. So Nick and I doing the rapid rundown last week was kind of like flying a plane without a pilot.
Yeah, because we kind of went off the rails for a couple of them, and I think it
I
was a bit
think-
of an all-timer.
I think it's like Nick said. I think I almost pressed the ejector seat button instead of the actual picks.
All right, well, your guide is here, so let's run through this. We got the 49ers and the Jaguars. The 49ers, a 6.5 favorite. Elijah Mitchell, the young running back for the 49ers. Looks like he is going to miss this game. It looks like it's going to be Jeffrey Wilson in at running back. So,
By the way, holy Jaguars last week.
yeah.
I mean, you know what they say about broken clocks and blind squirrels.
I guess they're right twice a day at least.
Yeah, but think about what this means for the Jaguars. They're 2-7. They're taking on a 4-5 49ers team. This is one of their best shots at winning.
Yeah, but I don't know if I agree with that line. I think it could be a little bit higher, but
wait a minute. So, what mood is Shanahan in this week? Is it going to be Garoppolo? Is it going to be Trey Lance?
I think it's going to be a Jimmy.
He may
G.
just show up in a fake mustache and just suit up himself.
So you're saying he's going to go Bobby V style?
Exactly. But it's not going to. But I still say, no matter who it is, I'm still picking the Niners.
Wow, are you actually thinking about this, Tom?
I'll go with the Niners. I'll go with the Niners. I don't know if I'll go to the line though. I don't know.
I think if you're going to take them,
okay. You know what? Second thought, because the Niners did beat the Rams. If that shocked me. So you know what? Take the money at this point.
And they blew them out, I think, also.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you know what? Take the money.
Take the money. If my thing will work. Hello. Take the money.
Register wasn't working there for a second.
Error!
Clean up on aisle 5.
There's so much blood.
Washington and Carolina. Carolina, of course, now being led by Cam Newton. Oh, and it's Cam Newton versus Ron Rivera, his old coach.
I'm back.
The greatest penalty there ever was in football.
By the way, fuck the NFL for throwing a penalty flag on that.
That was worth it.
Yeah, but like I said last week, this is basically sticking two different flavors of crap against this. So it's like an Italian ice of crap. So
I can't believe I didn't use that. Damn it.
Is it going to be lemon or is it going to be peppermint flavored crap?
I am going to go with the fresher crap. Cam Newton looked great last week. So you know what? Panthers, take that money.
I'm going to go with the fresher crap.
I don't know if it's exactly fresher crap because fresh crap is still crap.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you're right.
Take the money. Take the money.
It's Washington, for God's sake. I got to take Cam. I've always liked them.
By the way, Fitzmagic officially announced out for the rest of the year.
That's depressing.
Hey, Tyler Heineke, here we go.
Yeah, Mr. Heineke. Lions and the Browns. So congratulations, Lions. You tied. You're not going to be 0-17. The bad news, why that line is so high, Nick Chubb is back.
Well, by the way, wait. They technically still don't have any wins. They just have a tie in that
win list, right?
In that random, what I like to call NHL third column, the tie column. Oh, which they don't have anymore. Let me take that back.
The overtime loss.
So now who's being Captain Pedantic? I think it's you.
Maybe.
So, you know what? Take the money. Even on a line like that, I say take.
I would not take that line.
Actually,
I still would take a 10-point line.
You know what? The 10. If it was 10, maybe. Well, you know what? Nick, yeah, I take that comment back. Don't take the money. Just take the Browns.
The rules are, Nick, the way the lines work. Either you take the line or you take the under. So
I'll take the under.
I'll take the under. I say Browns win, but take the under.
Yeah, I think
Captain Pedantic.
I think the Browns will win, but I'm taking the under on that line.
Okay, Colts and Bills. Bills -7. Yeah, now that one I say take the money.
I'll take
the money.
Packers and the Vikings in Minnesota. The Packers only a 1-point favorite. Aaron Jones, MCL sprain after his last week's injury. He will not miss the rest of the year. However, he's out this week and potentially week 12.
I'm surprised they didn't put him on temporary IR. I thought they were going to.
So it looks like instead of Dalvin Cook versus Aaron Jones in the running battle, it'll be Dalvin Cook versus AJ Dillon.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm still going to take the Packers, but I got a feeling it's going to end in a field goal. So,
I mean, if you looked at last week's
the final seconds, because that's usually how these matchups end.
By the way, Nick and I got crapped on by a bird flying over because we thought that the Seahawks were just going to come in and blow out the Packers, and it was 3-0. It was 3-0 in the fourth quarter.
I told you, guys. I told you that is a tough game for your first game back, Lambeau. That's way too tough.
Yeah, but that was Aaron Rodgers' first game back in 10 days.
But the difference is he plays in Lambeau how many times a year?
On the outside, it seemed like an easy pick to make, but it ended up being a farting and industrial fan.
But I couldn't believe the score was 3-0. I was expecting a score fest going in.
So was I. I mean, I was right with the Packers and the Seahawks, but I thought it was going to be a completely different game.
Look, here on Empty the Bench, we reserve the right to be wrong.
Actually, wait. These are two teams in which I thought the game was going to be different. I thought the Vikings-Chargers game was going to be a scoring fest, and it was a defensive battle.
Yeah, that one was kind of confusing. Yeah, my rule of thumb in this situation is it's Kirk Cousins. So I can't take Kirk Cousins even if my life depended on it. So take the money.
Moral of the story is we can never be weathermen. Well, I thought there wasn't going to be a tornado.
Wait, that's the only job that you could be more than 50% wrong
and have it right, yeah.
And not be fired.
You know what? I'll play safe. I'll go Packers since you guys are both going Packs.
Okay.
Discount double check.
Wait a minute. Are you really going to make? Wait a minute. Are you going to really make me do it again?
RELAX.
XLRAQ.
Saints and the Eagles. Eagles are -2.5. I think the Saints are the better team, but with Alvin Kamara now confirmed out, no Kamara, no win. Take the money.
Yeah, take the money.
Wow. I'm surprised how quick you were on that line because the Eagles have been bad all year.
They have been, but I've got a bad feeling. Wait, but they do have Ingram now.
Ingram is a beast there in Louisiana down there.
You know what? I need to make up some points in the standings. So you know what? Screw it. Upset City.
Oh,
I'm going Saints.
I was already going to do that anyway. I've hated the Eagles all year just because they don't know what their situation is. So yeah, I'm taking.
I forgot. Boom and Zoom is back. I love the Boom Zoom combo.
Yeah.
So you know, screw it. I'm going upset.
Yeah, that's right. So Nick, are you still taking the Eagles?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, you know what? It is a winnable matchup for the Eagles. It is a home matchup, but all right. You know what? Speaking of one where I decide take the money right after. Oh, look. JOKE. Joke. Just ring the cash register already.
I'm so mad right now. I can't even
I actually will take that line. I'll take it.
That's not the cash register.
I'm flushing my dreams down the drain at this point. But yeah.
There you go.
I have nothing to say. That's all I have to say.
I don't think any of us have anything to
Mike
say.
White had 4 interceptions last week when he said he should have been the first overall pick. That's all I have to say.
So it's Joe Flacco, right? It's Joe Flacco time?
Yes, because apparently they think Joe Flacco can play better against a Miami Dolphins defense, which they lost 24-0 last year.
Was Robert Saleh frozen in ice for a couple of years and they defrosted him and he still thinks he's in 2011?
Joe, how do you spell elite? LITEE.
Elite.
I also have nothing to say about this game. You're telling me the Bears have a shot against the Ravens? Get out of here.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I'm sorry, but that line should be at least 2 points higher.
Texans and the Titans. I don't know if I'd ring bell on this one. 10-point line. Here's the problem. And Nick, you mentioned this to me right before we went on here. The Texans sometimes can play well and only lose by 3.
Yeah.
Sometimes they get absolutely blown out.
Yeah, this one I don't know how to explain, to be quite honest.
So which flavor of loss is it going to be this week?
I mean, the Titans, Derrick Henry's out. Is Julio's on temporary IR, right?
Yeah, he is on temporary IR. And
You know what?
AJ Brown was banged up also.
He's in, but he's banged up. Yeah, I like Tannehill's still shown some, level of
Yeah, but how many
success.
weapons can you take away before he can't?
I know. It's definitely Titans. I just don't know about that line.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that this is gonna be a barn burner game. I'm gonna take the Titans, but I'm gonna take the under.
Okay, I'm not gonna take the line. I'll just take Titans.
Yep.
All right. Bengals Raiders. The Bengals are only a 1-point favorite.
See,
How many times? I'm sorry, gentlemen. What did I say at the very beginning of the season? I said that there was a dark horse to watch, and one of those dark horse was the Bengals. I am tired of the disrespect that Joe Burrow is getting.
Jamar Chase. Yeah.
Of the disrespect that Chase is getting, that T. Higgins is getting. Joe Mixon. I usually am disappointed with Joe Mixon, but he's been healthy so far and has been playing well. And the 1 week where he didn't play, Perrine looked absolutely unbelievable. I am tired of the disrespect of this team, especially with the Browns with their struggles. So you know what? Take the money and take it by 1,000.
Ouch! Oh,
I'm with him.
take the money.
Cowboys and the Chiefs. The Chiefs only a 2.5 favorite. Gentlemen, I'm going to be disgusted. You are going to try and strip the Giants fandom away from me.
I mentioned this to you before we started.
Upset City. I
Yeah,
am taking the Cowboys over the Chiefs.
yeah.
The Chiefs defense looks like shit.
Nick, I'm going to say this to you right now. You have to put your fandom aside.
The Chiefs look terrible. And I said it because
They've
the
won
Chiefs,
the past couple of games, though.
they have, but again,
Patrick Mahomes looks like a shell of himself lately,
I mean,
except for last game.
I would say last game was fine, but even with Mahomes, that defense looks atrocious.
It's bad.
That looks like Dak could have a field day with that.
And the
defense.
Cowboys, and I know you don't want to hear the two Giants fans sitting next to me here. The Cowboys are probably the best team in football right now.
Did you have to say it out loud?
Well, tell me where I'm wrong.
It's right now in the
It doesn't
NFL.
mean it doesn't suck. It's
I-
true,
right
but
now
it
in the-
sucks nonetheless.
I don't know if I would agree with best team in football. We have one team in our next matchup that I think is trying to take that cake, although they're a very hurt team.
By the way, another team that played horribly, which we'll get to in the Monday Night Football matchup, they were upset last week. But I think the Cowboys, because they said they're the most balanced in the rankings of defense and offense.
So
Out
I
of
guess
teams.
I have to go to Upset City with you, Tom.
Yeah. Oh, I was at Upset City before the show even started. Yeah, I'm taking the Cowboys.
I'm telling you, I'm going to be car sick on the way, but I'm going to Upset City.
Yeah, that's right.
So there's a couple of other teams that I think could be fighting the Cowboys for that spot, and here has been one of them, the Arizona Cardinals. The problem is the Cardinals are absolutely hurt. DeAndre Hopkins is confirmed out once again this week. Kyler Murray is going to be a game time decision.
Which means he'll be out because he was questionable last week and he was out.
But you know what? The defense, they got some pieces back, like Chandler Jones, and they look fine. And honestly, Colt McCoy looked okay. Colt McCoy and the other receivers looked kind of okay, even without them. So, since the Seahawks, Chris Carson confirmed done for the year with
That's
injury.
bad. That might end their season.
And Russell Wilson, again, as much as, they're home now, so maybe he'll be fine. But I told you guys before that when you were saying originally week 10, that I thought it was too quick. I'm taking the money still. I'm still going to take the money.
I'm still taking the
Cardinals.
money because last time I took the Seahawks, they pissed all over that chance. So.
Well, I would take the Cardinals in the money also because, again, they rushed Russell Wilson back. They should have waited.
It sounds like something that I should be slapped in the face as a football fan for picking Colt McCoy over Russell Wilson, but this week I'm going to do it.
Take the money.
Stranger things have happened.
Let's get to a very interesting matchup. Sunday Night Football. Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Los Angeles to play the Chargers. Now, the Steelers are a big laughingstock of the league right now because they tied with the Detroit Lions. However, Ben Roethlisberger, after actually doing the right thing and reporting his symptoms and all, he has been cleared from COVID. He will play this time. Chase Claypool supposedly is okay. He is banged up. He is still hurt, but will play in this game. And the Chargers, as Nick, you said before the show, Joey Bosa off the IR. He will play. This matchup already looks so much better than it could have been. This now looks like a legit Sunday Night Football matchup.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still leaning on my top 3 quarterback pick.
And
Still.
the Steelers
Oh,
are
absolutely.
yeah, the Steelers don't look like I know their record says they're pretty good, but I don't.
Gentlemen, 5 words. We have said it multiple times, and on the on Schlosser's recent video about this game, the greatest game days of our Steelers combo. 5 words, gentlemen. Play down to their competition.
So who am I to disagree with a wide sage like that? So
even then, the Steelers, they can play. They've shown that they can still play and they can be competitive. But Ben Roethlisberger, as happy as I am that he's back, he just does not look the same.
He almost lost to the Bears on a field goal, on a 65-yard field goal.
That the best player on that team right now is not him. It's not Chase Claypool. That team runs and lives through Najee Harris. And Najee Harris is not going to be enough to stop, Justin Herbert, not going to be enough to stop Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, Austin Eckler. And there's a brutal injury to this one. TJ Watt's not going to be playing, and his season could be done. I can't confidently pick the Steelers. I'm going with the Charge. Take the money.
Yeah, take the money.
All right. Monday Night Football. Giants, Bucks. So, you laugh, but gentlemen, we mentioned the Chiefs before. Do you remember when the Giants and Chiefs played on Monday night? And I said that the Chiefs had to blow the Giants out, and they didn't. And that looked horrible for their season because they didn't. And ever since then, they have looked up until last week. I think the Buccaneers are in the same boat. You lost to Washington.
That's what I was just about to say. The momentum is probably on the Giants' side at this point, even though they didn't win either.
The Buccaneers, as much of a double-digit line as this is,
actually,
the Bucks have.
They're coming off a bye this week.
Yeah,
the Giants, yes, didn't play last week.
So then they should win.
So you're going to upset City.
No, I'm saying that they should be more prepared than they ever have been to play the Bucs.
So here's what I'm going to do, gentlemen. I'm not going to pick the Giants. However, I am not going to take that line. And if my prediction is not right, and that the Buccaneers actually blow out the Giants, that's the only way I think they save their season. If they even if they beat the Giants and they only win on a field goal, you struggle there. You struggle against Washington. That looks like an awful look for a team that should be a Super Bowl favorite right now.
You threw 2 picks in the first quarter against Washington. I mean, really?
That's not Brady. I'm sorry. That's not
right.
Brady.
And also, Antonio Brown has been in and out of the lineup, and Gronk has not been. When's the last time Gronk was on the field?
Again, I'm going with the Bucks, but I'm not confident in that line, and that should not be the case.
So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna agree with you.
Yeah, I mean the line is big, but the Giants are not going to beat them.
But that's the thing. You say the Giants should be more prepared than ever, but this is a game the Bucs shouldn't be losing. They should be losing to the Giants. They should be losing to Washington.
No,
These should be easy wins.
But I'm saying, coming off the bye week, you should be more prepared than ever before.
Right. But again, the Giants we know are not going to be the playoff team. We need to see a sign from the Buccaneers that they can still be the team that they were last year. Give us a sign that you still are, because if you can't in this matchup, looks horrible for you entering the final one for the regular season.
So if you lose to Tyler Heineke and Daniel Jones, do you earn a medal for losing to some of the worst quarterbacks in the league?
I don't want to know what medal that is made of.
What can Brown do for you?
Yeah.
Bravo.
By the way,
take a bow.
I have one more piece of breaking news, though, about the.
Well, we're not done.
Oh, do we? Okay.
We usually do it Thursday night, but gentlemen, It's Turkey Day Thursday.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
that's
Three
right.
games.
Oh, no.
And we begin with an appetizer full of that brown stuff. It's the Bears and the Lions.
So if this game is on, you could just put it in the background while you're cooking or really doing anything else. Do the picture-in-picture with the parade or
sleeping.
hell, even the dog show.
How about, the dog show you might get more entertainment out of. Honestly, just go outside and throw the football around yourself.
Or you could just sleep after having first meal.
So, gentlemen, are the Bears that terrible that the Lions might actually get their first win here?
No, I think the Bears are still going to win.
You're telling me you're not confident enough in the Lions?
No.
That's my answer right there. Yeah, so we don't even have lines, so we can't even do this. But you know what? Take the money on the Bears.
Go with the Bears. Well, if we're wrong, we're going to be wrong together. I'll go with the Bears.
Just like we do everything.
All right. The Raiders and the Cowboys. Cowboys.
Take the money.
All right. So, crap for your appetizer, crap for your main entree. But you know what? There's going to be some sweet, sweet dessert. The game that matters. The Thursday night game this week. I love it. Bills Saints.
Hopefully Kamara's back.
I hope so too.
And
This
I
is
am going to say that the Bills are going to win. I'm going to pick the Bills.
Oh, I think the Bills are going to win, but this should be an entertaining game. We need Alvin Kamara back and playing here. But even if he doesn't, Mark Ingram, fine option. But the Bills, there's been a couple of hiccups over the last few weeks with the Bills, namely a certain game against a certain cat-like mascot in a city called Jacksonville. But the Bills should be an AFC favorite. And dare I say it, with all the debate we've been having with the NFC teams, the Bills should be a Super Bowl favorite. But they need to play like it consistently. This should be an entertaining game, but this is a game where, if they can make a statement against the Saints, they should. And you know what? I'm gonna go with Buffalo.
And usually I look at last week's game to see what the support is. Unfortunately, I can't look at last week's game because unfortunately they played a AAA football team last week. So I can't really look at their performance last week. So,
how do you spell that AAA team? J-E-S-T.
Wait, I'll tell you how I spell that.
RELAX.
No, you do anything but RELAX when that team is playing.
Pretty much, yeah. Take the money on the Bills.
All right. What's that one last piece of breaking news?
So Tom Pelissero brought it out on Twitter about 10 to 15 minutes ago. Panthers quarterback Cam Newton was flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct, but didn't get fined for removing his helmet to yell, "I'm back."
The NFL actually makes a good decision.
Right.
And it says, nor were any of the players flagged for taunting or fined. And of course, Tom Pelissero says at the end, a subtle shift? ?
Yeah, it's a one-time thing. I guarantee you they're not going to do that again.
I told you that flag was worth it. That I'm back. That was freaking great. And actually, he had a shirt at a recent press conference that had the quote "I'm back" and it had the cross out and it said "We back, we're back," because he is looking. Cam Newton is looking to say that he is back for good at Bank of America Stadium.
I should turn that into a drop now. When something happens
after one of us is absent for a week, that should have been my thing when I came back.
Damn it! I didn't even think of that. Ugh. Too busy trying to get this network up and going. Ugh.
Yeah. Speaking of, we actually just had a new episode of Living Life. Was it Sweet Treats and Eats? Another one for Thanksgiving. Just in time?
On Thanksgiving, if you like sweet potato, pecan bread, or cranberry pumpkin muffins, or what was the other one? Sweet potato with marshmallow and nuts on it. You sick people who are thinking other things. But yes, there's a lot of great food for Thanksgiving. So go check that out. Also,
you guys just launched a new episode of Beyond the Bench.
Yes,
we did. And we've got some interesting stuff coming up for Beyond the Bench as the holiday season progresses. But yeah, so make sure you watch that too.
And make sure you get Nick's advice on cryptocurrency and NFTs because that was funny as well.
So hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the network. And when you hit subscribe, make sure you need to be notified of all of our videos. So what you got to do, you got to make sure that you got to ring that bell.
Ring!
Ring, 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 ring.
Oh,
Ring the bell.
I thought you were going to say something else.
I was gonna do banana phone. No.
Yes.
Yes.
Damn it. But ring the bell.
For the banana phone.
Ring the bell. But also another show, Here Now the News, with my good friend Jerry Barmash, who just had on what's his name again? I always get it wrong. Petrie Hawkins Bird, who was
I always call him Bailiff Bird because
Oh,
he was
right.
Judge Judy's bailiff for years.
for 25 years. He's on the next episode coming up tomorrow at 10 a.m.
So make sure to watch that too.
And make sure to follow us across social media. You see our social media handles going across. So make sure to follow us on Twitter, as well as follow Empty the Bench and the Empty the Bench Podcast Network on Facebook as well. So that will be all for this week, right?
And we'll see you after Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see you after Thanksgiving. Technically, our next show is a week from now, and Thanksgiving will hit this. So we'll wish
Try
you
not
right
to get
now-
fat.
We'll wish you right now a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody!
Happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you next week after Thanksgiving.
See you, everybody.